Hey everybody, I'm Renon,
I'm Remy.
I'm Ryan.
and today we're going to try something we haven't seen before. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison of the martial archetypes for the fighter class. We're going to be looking at 3 different archetypes today, and we'll be reviewing some more here soon. In this video, we won't be focusing on the core aspects of each class, just the differences between the subclasses. Hopefully this will help in deciding which subclass is the best for your build, and will help you learn some more about the differences between the various subclasses. As always, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and let us know your thoughts on the video. Thanks for watching, and let's get to it and learn a little bit more about the fighter's subclasses. As a fighter, you're expected to be running into battle with your weapon drawn and your allies behind you, relying on you to take most of the beating. But what if instead of practicing reckless abandon, you studied the art of magic instead? That's right, I'm talking about the Eldritch Knight, which puts a unique spin on the classic fighter, turning you into a partial caster, which gives you something that few other fighter subclasses can give: adaptability. The ability to deal with situations that call for more than just a sword is invaluable in an unpredictable game like D&D. And starting with the Eldritch Knight exclusive abilities, at level 3, you get your first spells with 2 cantrips and 3 first level spells from the wizard spell list. You also get access to Weapon Bond, which will ensure that you can't be disarmed of your weapon, and if you're in the same plane of existence as it, that you can summon it as a bonus action. At level 7, you get War Magic, which, when you use your action for a cantrip, you can then use your bonus action for a weapon attack. You will also get your first 2 second level spells. At level 10, you get Eldritch Strike. This means that if you hit a creature with a weapon attack, then that creature will have disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes against your spells before your next turn ends. At level 13, you get your first 2 third level spells. At level 15, you have Arcane Charge, which allows you to teleport up to 30 feet into any unoccupied space that you can see after using your action surge. The teleport can take place before or after the additional action. At level 18, your War Magic gets improved. This means that now whenever you cast any spell, which is not just limiting yourself to cantrips, you can also make a weapon attack at the cost of your bonus action. And finally, at level 19, you get your final spell slot, a 4th level spell slot. To me, the Eldritch Knight is invaluable to any team because with spells like Firebolt, Green Flame Blade, Shield, Absorb Elements, and Chromatic Orb all available to you right as you choose Eldritch Knight at level 3, you find yourself able to handle a wide range of problems that only a select few other classes can handle.
If you're looking to play a fighter that excels in close combat and resembles the pit fighting gladiator that we sometimes think of when we see a fighter, then prepare to be disappointed by the champion fighter. The champion subclass is found on page 72 of the player's handbook. Being the most simple of all of the fighter subclasses, the champion archetype chooses to increase the strength of core mechanics instead of adding new ones. Starting when you choose the subclass at 3rd level, you gain the improved critical feature, allowing you to critically strike on a roll of both 19 and 20. This feature is extremely useful for the fighter as they make multiple attacks a turn, either through your action surge you have at level 2, or later on with extra attack at level 5. There's not much else to say besides that it's a solid passive ability for the fighter. At 7th level, you gain the Remarkable Athlete ability, which allows you to add half of your proficiency to strength, dexterity, or constitution checks that you don't already have proficiency in. Additionally, you can add your strength modifier to the number of feet you cover with a running long jump. And although the bonus to the strength, dexterity, and constitution rolls are useful, they pale in comparison to the other fighter subclasses' level 7 abilities. If you're playing a fighter at lower levels, hitting the 7th level milestone should be a key strength booster to your class. However, on the champion fighter, it just doesn't feel impactful enough to call this a good ability. Similar to improved critical, it's a nice utility to have, but it's nothing to write home about. When you reach level 10, the champion gets to choose an additional fighting style. Having 2 fighting styles is more helpful than it initially seems. For example, a sword and board fighter, a sword and shields adventurer wouldn't have to choose between dueling or defense. Once you hit 10th level with champion, you can choose both and have the +2 for damage and +1 to your armor class. It's a great passive ability that makes your character stronger, but once again, it's not something to be excited about. When you reach 15th level, your improved critical you received at level 3 upgrades to superior critical, which allows your attacks to crit on an 18, 19, or 20 on an attack roll. Superior critical may not seem extremely powerful, given that it's a feature gained at 15th level, which is very late in the game, but because the fighter at this stage of the game is allowed to make 3 attacks per turn or 6 with action surge, the chances that one of those attacks are going to be a critical is much, much higher. making this ability more useful than it seems at face value. Finally, at 18th level, the champion fighter gains the survivor feature, allowing the fighter to regain hit points equal to 5 plus their constitution modifier, as long as you have less than half of your total and you are not at 0. This is a great feature to keep you alive and keep you going in a fight, especially if you don't have a healer or you don't have a strong one in your party. Self-sustain is important for any sort of martial class, and having this be a completely passive feature is extremely strong. The champion fighter overall is advertised as being the intro to D&D class, so it's made to be simple intentionally. However, for players that know how to play and or want interesting characters, the champion fighter is the least interesting option. Additionally, because the champion is a branch off of the fighter's subclass tree, it means you're going to be primarily based in combat, meaning the subclass would be more combat focused. However, unfortunately for the champion fighter, it's outclassed in almost every regard by the Battlemaster subclass. Overall, the champion fighter isn't a bad subclass by any means, but without a doubt, it's the most boring.
When I picture a fighter, I envision someone in heavy armor wading into battle and hacking and slashing at anyone that gets in his way. And for me, this is the Battlemaster. This is the guy that's going to lead the group into battle. He's the one that has studied fighting and has skills and tricks to make the battle go his way. So let's dive in and learn a little bit more about the Battlemaster. At level 3, you'll learn Combat Superiority. This is an amazing ability and you get to learn 3 different maneuvers. The player's handbook has 16 different maneuvers to choose from, and all of them are good. They range from reducing damage, helping others on your party, tripping a target, and many, many more. In order to use a maneuver, you have to expend a superiority die. The dice are D8s, and at level 3, you get 4 of them. Every time you use a maneuver, you expend 1 superiority die, and you get all expended dice back after a short or long rest. So now I'm going to talk about the 3 maneuvers that I take at level 3. The first maneuver I take is Feinting Attack. With this maneuver, you can use your bonus action and you can get advantage on your next attack roll in this turn, and you can add the superiority die to the attack's damage. The second maneuver I take is Parry. When you take melee damage, you can use your reaction to reduce the damage taken by the number you roll on your superiority die plus your dexterity modifier. The third maneuver I take is Menacing Attack. When I want to do some extra damage, Menacing Attack allows me to not only add 1 superiority die to the attack's damage, I can also attempt to frighten the creature. If the creature fails their wisdom savings throw, it's frightened until the end of my next turn. At 7th level, you get Know Your Enemy. If you can observe your enemy for a minute or more, you can learn a couple of key things about that creature. This is great if you want to find some weakness or know how your team would fare against this creature. Also, you get 1 more superiority die to use, and you get to pick up 2 maneuvers to use. Now you're up to 5 dice and 5 maneuvers known. At level 10, your superiority dice changes from D8s to D10s. This allows you to hit harder or avoid things much, much easier. You also get 2 more maneuvers, which brings you up to 7 known. Lots of things you can use in battle now. At level 15, if you go to roll initiative and you have used all of your superiority dice, you get 1 back. This is another great benefit, especially if you're in a long dungeon crawl and haven't had a chance to take a short or long rest. Every time that you go into a different battle and you have to roll for initiative, you get 1 of those dice back. Oh, and also at level 15, you get 2 more maneuvers, 9 total now, and 1 more superiority die, 6 total. Like I said, this is a guy with all the tricks on the battlefield. And finally, at level 18, your superiority dice change from D10s to D12s. It's another amazing increase. So just imagine watching this guy in battle. Other sword-wielding heroes are just hack and slash, but this guy, if you try to hit him, he can deflect it. He can also frighten you. He can knock your weapons out of your hand, and so much more. He is truly the master of the battle.